talk more about this and speak to, excuse me, a professor in computer science at Dartmouth College in New Hampshire, Hany Farid. Hany, thank you very much for joining us. Appreciate your time. Now, I believe the software that we saw in that report there is not exactly the same to what you've designed in the past. Tell us a bit about the work you did around child pornography and how easily it could translate into identifying extremist videos.
Yeah, you're exactly right. This is slightly different technology. There's sort of two core ideas on how to do online content moderation. One idea that we deployed back in 2008 to deal with the explosion of child pornography is not to try to reason about the content to determine if it's extremist or not, to determine if it's child pornography or not, but it's to take manually flagged content, so content that has been flagged by humans, whether those are images or videos, and extract from them a digital signature that is unique to that content, and then stop the re-uploading of exactly that same content. So the benefit of that technology is it allows you to very quickly, very accurately, at internet scale, find and remove content that has been manually flagged. The newest technologies that we are seeing, which I think are very exciting and long overdue, try to solve a more ambitious problem, which is to determine not just what have we seen before, but what is the new content being put out there. And these two technologies work together. And in fact, they work together with human moderators. So this technology, this newest technology based on machine learning advances, flags what it thinks is terrorist content, extremist content, child exploitation content. A human reviews it, and if it is found, in fact, to be illegal or inappropriate or violations of terms of service, it gets added into the previous technology, and then you solve the problem immediately after that. Everything is essentially can be eliminated from upload. And I will say that it's a little disappointing that the tech companies are not the ones, the big tech companies are not the ones developing this technology, but it falls on small organizations. So I think this is long overdue and extremely welcome.
So I presume with you saying that you've taken it to these tech companies. Why, first of all, are they not designing it themselves, in your opinion? And what sort of reception have you received trying to bring this technology to their front door?
Yeah, so I will tell you, we have been having this fight for over a decade, starting with child exploitation now in the extremism front. And the technology companies have been largely, up until last year, extremely reluctant to deploy this technology. I think there's really one sort of basic reason, which is that from a legal perspective, it is important that these companies are seen as platforms. And that gives them broad legal protection for the abuses on their platforms because they're not publishers of content. And as soon as they get into the business of regulating content, they can now be seen as moving from a platform to a publisher, and that changes their legal standing in really significant ways.
So I don't think that's an excuse, by the way. Mr. Farid, is this related to Mark Zuckerberg's announcement recently that he wants Facebook essentially to become less of a publisher because this technology effectively... Explain that. I don't know what I'm trying to get at. You could probably explain it a bit more.
I think that's exactly right. So what you have to understand is here in the United States, we have something called the Communications Decency Act, and there is something called Section 230 of that, which says that online platforms, and that word platform is very important, cannot be held responsible for the upload of its users. But publishers can be held responsible and be held liable. And so as long as you are a generic platform, your customers that are uploading content are responsible, not you. And as soon as you move into that business of being a publisher, your legal standing changes. Now, I should add there are other issues here. There are economic issues. These platforms, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, are in the business of having people upload content. Taking down content is not good for business. And then the third part is that once you get into business of saying this is allowed, this is not allowed, you open the doors to having to have some very difficult and complex conversations of what is extremist speech, what is terror speech. And those are complicated discussions. But my point is, sure, they're complicated. The world is complicated. And you're a multi-billion-dollar company with hundreds of thousands of people. Figure it out. The time for allowing this type of abuse on your platform is over. We are seeing real harm happening both to children and to the public. And I think the public, frankly, and the advertisers are tired of this hands-off approach that this is not our problem. We simply allow people to do things. And if they do bad things, well, you know, we're sorry about that.
Hany Farid, great to speak to you. Thanks for taking the time to do so.
Thanks. Good to be with you.